What up, though? Just got myself some gas. I got myself some gas. That's funny. On my way back to Hartford from the Danbury. And you know, I don't do these lives too often unless I'm inspired. And the topic that's been dominating the airwaves for the last few days is not A$AP Rocky getting freed by Trump. That's fluff. It's about these mass shootings that are happening, and people pushing for gun control. People looking for legislature to be the answer to their problems with these mass shootings. We'll get to that in a second. Now, we've heard there were 2 mass shootings this week, right? So even if you said, yeah, snuff, I got some snuff. Now these are cinnamon almonds, butter cinnamon almonds. But so there were 2 mass shootings this week that made national headlines, right? Even if you do like 2 of these national headlines per week, and we're in like week 30, that should be 60 mass shootings, right? They're claiming there's like over 250 of them. So like that clip, that means that we're at 8 mass shootings per week. So shouldn't it be like 8 national headlines per week? I don't see it. Listen, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't really watch the news at all, but I'm heavily involved in social media. And if something major pops off, you better believe it's somebody gonna be talking about it online, period. And it's just something that I don't see. I feel like bad things happen all the time. And I feel like when there's a certain agenda that needs to be pushed, those are the things that are going to be highlighted, that you focus and pay attention to get people to make decisions as far as like their political affiliations. That's what I truly believe. A mass shooting is a mass shooting, is it not? What makes these 2 mass shootings that happened this week more important to the other 6 that we don't hear about? To me, that should be news all the time, not just occasionally. So if they're occasionally sharing news about occasional mass shootings, then obviously there's an agenda that's being pushed. And like somebody said in a post I made a few minutes ago, crazy shit like that, crazy shit been happening. Like people been getting murdered and railroaded and fucked over since the beginning of time. It's just that we have social media, we got cell phones, we have a lot of different outlets that news can be shared instantaneously. Opinions can be formulated instantaneously by what you share. A fucking nobody could go viral and just share a fucking nobody could go viral by just sharing some bullshit, like a bullshit ass lie. Somebody that's not even known. That's like, we all have the power of influence if we put out the right content. You know what I mean? And I just don't believe it. And then from what I'm hearing, a lot of these quote unquote mass shootings, what they're using to pad their stats is like gang violence and different inner cities and things of that nature. You know, to me, like, if it's 5 gangsters shooting at 5 gangsters, you know, some gang related shit, that's or just some hood related shit, that's not mass shooting, man. We know what the fuck it is. There's a difference. It's just like killing is killing, right? But there's a difference between killing, homicide, genocide, infanticide. There's different levels to this shit, man. You can't conveniently label everything as mass shootings to fit your narrative. Motherfuckers don't care about motherfuckers getting killed in Chicago, right? But they'll definitely use Chicago statistics to pad their stats about mass shootings. When we hear mass shootings, we don't think about no gang violence, no shit like that. We think of some random motherfucker running up into like a public place, like a movie theater or a church or a concert, and just randomly shooting that shit up. Not motherfuckers shooting each other over the drug trade. So if they're using that to pad their stats, that's some disingenuous shit, man, to push an agenda. My theory, whoever got the money, you know what I'm saying, whoever has the most influence, whoever wants the most influence, is trying to gear society a certain way for motherfuckers to lean a certain way for their benefit. Ultimately, the government wants to take the power out of citizens' hands. They want to take our First Amendment away. So to create, and this is my theory, this is right here, I'm not saying it's true, but it sounds logical to me. Ultimately, if you don't know exactly what's going on, what you believe political-wise and religious-wise, it's all a matter of opinion and how it resonates with you. So boom, if the government wants the citizens to have less power, as far as with weapons, they take away their First Amendment. That's how you do it. How do they take away the First Amendment? They put certain individuals sleeper cells, or, you know what I'm saying? They put certain individuals in certain positions to get weapons and guns and things of that nature, and they galvanize them to wreak havoc and shoot up, make you like not feel safe in any place. Like, damn, like somebody said they shot up a concert, they shot up a school, they shot up a church, you know, they're shooting a supermarket, they're shooting up a nightclub, they're shooting up all these different situations so you don't feel safe. So the government was like, hey, well, what we have to do is we have to make more stringent laws, we have to make more stringent gun control laws to make it harder for the average citizen to possess a firearm. You take the firearms out of the citizens' hands when the government wants to pretty much do anything and control and force you to do anything. There's no way that we can defend ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? Because they took the guns out of our hands. You know, and it's not even that they took the guns out of our hands. They created these. I don't like calling it false flags. I don't like calling it false flags because I really do believe that people are getting killed and things of that nature. But I feel like it's somebody orchestrating this shit where it's happening behind the scenes to push an agenda. So I don't want to call it a false flag, but Trojan horse, so to speak. They're creating these. Get out my GPS real quick. They're creating these Trojan horse situations so we can give our guns away. And I'm not saying me. I feel like the gun in general, it carries a certain energy when you have it, man. I think the world would be a better place without it, without guns in general, but then people would just be doing other shit. Like stabbing people and shit, whatever. Here's another thing too. When it comes to mass killings, why is it that the gun is the most popular means that these terrorists use to kill people? There's other ways. Yes, there's been bombings and stuff like that, but it seems like guns are the most popular thing. You take the guns out of criminals' hands. Well, first of all, the criminals. There's always ways. You know how many men? I don't know the number, but I'm willing to bet there's a whole bunch of dirty ass AK-47s and Uzis and things of that nature. Yeah, Marlon, you don't think clearly when you own a or have a it gives you a certain energy, man. There's a certain, I think, a negative energy behind that shit, a certain fearlessness and foolhardiness. I mean, better you have the gun if somebody's trying to kill you with a gun. I get that, but there's just certain negative energy behind it. But what I was trying to say is, you take away the guns, crazy motherfuckers are going to kill people. And they're going to find other means. They're going to start using Molotov cocktails and shit like that. They're going to do, if they want to kill a whole bunch of people, they're going to kill a whole bunch of people. I feel like, yes, press on the government to I do agree in making things more difficult, but I don't think it's the ultimate. I don't think that's the answer. Like, making a commercial saying that having unprotected sex will give you HIV don't prevent motherfuckers from fucking motherfuckers. Ultimately, the change is in the individual. The change starts with yourself. From there, there's gonna be mad guns on the black market. And with those more stringent laws, it's gonna be harder for the regular law-abiding citizen to get a gun. The person that's gonna hurt ultimately with these like tougher gun laws is your everyday law-abiding citizen. Because the criminal always gonna be able to get a gun. The criminal's always gonna have an advantage. That's what the criminal does. That's the criminal's job. You passing laws and making it tough for people to get guns doesn't hurt the criminal. The government was dropping boxes of guns in the ghettos and causing a lot of these gang wars and shit like that. False flags. Don't have a fucking, yeah, I feel like nobody should have, I agree. Don't have a Crip. And I'm saying, like, when the Crips and the Bloods was going at war, they did this Trojan horse shit all the time. Don't have like a Crip dress up like a Blood, like when it's during peace. They'll have a Crip dress up like a Blood, kill another Crip and be seen, and all of a sudden that starts a bullshit ass war, but it was an inside job. That shit happens all the time. This is my thing, right? If you are a person that believes that the government is corrupt and is not trustworthy, then why would you rely on them to like pass laws and legislature that would help like killings go down? Especially when there's a possibility that the government is the one that's behind these killings. That don't make no sense. The government is not the answer. You are the answer. I'm gonna break it down. The government not the answer. You're the answer. I'm gonna break this shit down. Hold on, I gotta wipe my mouth. Yo, you ever know most of these motherfuckers that do these mass killings and shit? It's not some random person that just came out of nowhere and all of a sudden he just started killing people. A lot of these people had like a friend or a family member or somebody close to them that suspected that their friend was kind of weird or something was going on, you know? Whether it was crazy Facebook statuses they were making, whether it was crazy conversations they always had, whether it was crazy ass ideas they had one-on-one. A lot of times people share some crazy dark shit one-on-one. Now after 9/11, right, they always said if you see something, say something. That doesn't just apply, that does not just apply to like a random box that you see in the middle of the mall with a ribbon on it. You know, that don't just apply to that. That applies to human beings too. If you see somebody that looks kind of off kilter or something might be potentially wrong, or your friend always says some crazy ass suicidal murderous shit, that's something that you need to pay attention to, and that's something that you need to talk about. Dylan Roof had Facebook statuses and things. He used to say crazy shit to his friends. Excuse me. But they took it as he was just joking. No. In this time and age, if somebody's talking like that, you fucking record them. You report it to the authorities, you flag that motherfucker, and you be like, yo, pay attention to this person. Now, he could just be talking shit, but whatever, better safe than sorry. But I would rather somebody follow somebody that you think is going to do something that doesn't do something than don't follow somebody or pay attention to someone who's saying all this crazy shit and showing all these behaviors and these weirdo ass idiosyncrasies, and then he wound up doing something and becoming Dylan Roof. For me, the government got more pressing issues, man. We got to police ourselves, yo. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, what's going on in the entire world? What's worse, mass shootings and our country getting nuked by another country, yo. There's bigger pressing matters. The CEO of a company ain't worrying about what's happening in the mailroom. The people in the mailroom should be able to work that shit out. I feel like these are things that we could work out ourselves, man. Without the government. We just have to be more active participants, not just in our community, but with just people in general, man. You know that motherfucker that's kind of weird. You know that motherfucker that's kind of off, but you don't never say nothing. You just make fun of him. Oh, look at that weirdo homeless person, that bum. Or you make fun of him in school, or you make fun of him at work. Maybe we need to stop making fun of these people and start paying attention. And treating some people like human beings. A lot of times, society, as a society, we create these motherfuckers. We see certain outcasts and we treat them accordingly. And they wind up shooting up the fucking school. Now, the only difficult thing about this is, like I said, I really believe that sometimes the government does orchestrate these situations in order to promote an agenda. But even then, but they seek out those weak-minded motherfuckers that are easily susceptible. The government ain't gonna be able to convince like the high school prom king / quarterback to do some killings. He got a great life. He's happy. Shit popping. Ain't nobody gonna be able to influence him to do some shit like that. But the weirdo that don't really got no friends is always getting made fun of and pushed. All it takes is for the government to put like another fake student, a fake friend, to like put this propaganda and this bullshit in his head in order to do shit. Now, in that situation, it's hard to control. If the government wants it to happen, it's gonna happen. But those are two different scenarios. One scenario is just a motherfucker fed up with a society and just gonna do some crazy shit. The next scenario is the government preying on a weak-minded individual to get him to do some shit. But ultimately, that weak-minded individual still had parents or somebody raising him, or a brother or a sister or a cousin or a guardian. There was somebody in their life that saw something that was kind of off, that ignored that shit. I don't think the government is the answer for this shit at all. I do say make things more difficult, but I don't think that's the one lone answer. It's just like fitness. It's like getting in shape. Getting in shape, yeah. You could work out to get in shape, but that's not the only solution to getting. That's not the only thing, though. You need to work out. You got to eat right. You know what I'm saying? You got to meditate. You got to jog. You got to do all kinds of shit. We can't just rely on one. Damn, my eyes fucking itching like crazy. We cannot rely on one sole thing to be the answer, and just to totally put the blame on the government. That's just naive, though. If you think the government is corrupt, it's naive of you to think that they're going to be the solution to this shit. That's all I'm saying. And I find it hard to believe that it were 250 mass shooters. I'm not seeing 8 mass shooting headlines every single week. I'm not seeing that shit. From what just happened these last couple of days, these are the first 2 I heard for me personally in a while. And I'm always checking the news. I'm always listening, but via like YouTube and stuff like that. People that report the news. I'm hearing this shit all the time. If something is a major headline, there's about 7 or 8 different platforms that always report on it, that I pay attention to. I don't hear about this mass shooting shit. Not like that. An agenda's being pushed. An agenda's being pushed, yo. And it's just funny to me when you share a difference of opinion online about things of this nature, then people get in their feelings and they wanna throw personal attacks. If I give a difference of opinion, you a stronger personal attack at me ain't gonna change the fact that this crazy motherfucker shooting up movie theaters. It's not gonna change that. It's not gonna take that away. You know what I'm saying? If you really care, if you really want the government to change shit, stop being an armchair warrior. Stop being an internet warrior. Get into politics and be the vehicle for that change, instead of just randomly telling your friends on Facebook. My solution is way more feasible than wanting the government to change. You want to change the world, convince people to change themselves. You can't convince the government to make restrictions. Convince people to change themselves. That's how you change the world. We always leaning on Big Brother. We always leaning on Big Brother to make things better. But the wild shit is, Big Brother's a corrupt motherfucker. Big Brother is extremely corrupt. But you want the legislature to be the answer? They're trying to take the gun. Why should the average law-abiding citizen have a harder time getting a gun because it's some crazy motherfuckers that'll do bad shit with guns? As stated before, making guns harder to get for the average citizen, making guns harder to get for people does not hurt a criminal. criminal's job is to find his way to do criminal shit. That's stupid, man. It's like making food more vegan friendly. You're thinking it's gonna like hurt carnivores. The carnivores don't eat vegan friendly food. It don't matter what you do with the vegan friendly. The carnivores don't eat this shit. They're not a part of that. It's not gonna affect them. You know what I'm saying? They're like aliens. They go by a different code. They run by a different set of rules and standards. I mean, the real answer to me is like, this motherfuckers take law in their own hands, vigilante type justice. Motherfuckers that do crazy shit like this. See, why is it that it's always crazy motherfuckers that kill and do all this crazy shit, right? How come it's not the anti-hero, like the crazy motherfucker that takes these types of motherfuckers out? I don't get that. Why doesn't that motherfucker exist? Like the Dexter. I never watched Dexter, but he was a serial killer that preyed on serial killers, which was a brilliant idea. I think I'm gonna watch that shit. I never liked the name Dexter. I thought that was corny. I thought they was trying too hard. Let's make him sound as nerdy as possible, but he kills serial killers. And plus, they probably named him Dexter because that's the most non-threatening name that you could ever have. So it's easier to like a serial killer named Dexter than a serial killer named Axel. But yeah, we always got serial killers taking out crazy people. I mean, I'm not crazy, but the normal, everyday, average citizen, right? Why we don't never see the serial killer that actually is the do-gooder serial killer that kills motherfuckers that kill people? You never see that shit. It don't make no sense. I think if it's more vigilante justice, people take care of themselves, people policing themselves, this shit would go down. But we're always relying on Big Brother to do it. Oh, Big Brother got that. Big Brother gonna take care of that. You know what I'm saying? That shit is wild to me, man. That shit crazy to me, man. That don't make no sense. $250 mass shootings this year. And then somebody said, if four people are killed in a situation, that's considered a mass shooting. I call bullshit. To me, mass shooting is when some random shit with no agenda, no like specific agenda, happens in like a greatly crowded place and a whole bunch of people, more than 4 people die. At least that's my opinion. A mass shooting is like not a group of gangsters, gangbangers, or just like drug dealers or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Some inner city shit or some biker gang shit shooting at each other. That's not mass shooting. It's a gang war. Because if that's the case, then every time the United States goes to war, that's considered mass shootings overseas. No, that's considered war. A bunch of motherfuckers being shot in a situation is not always a mass shooting. So if 40 people was killed in a firing squad as a judgment, is that considered a mass shooting? We play around with semantics too much, man, to fit our agendas. That's just like when everybody calls everything racist now. The problem with giving certain things or broad situations one title takes away the sting of the word, man. It takes away the sting of the word. It makes you not take it as serious. Movie theater, 30, 40 motherfuckers shot, 10 people died, mass shooting. Drug transaction going bad when motherfuckers shooting up each other, that's not a mass shooting, yo. Stop that shit. Stop. At least not in my eyes. That's not what I think of it as. That's like calling sex with under two, with just two people an orgy. What does regular sex between two people and an orgy have in common? People fucking. But in an orgy, way more people are fucking. And there's a different agenda. It's straight up carnal lust and just having a fucking good time, man. That can be the agenda with two individuals as well. But with an orgy, that's always the agenda. I lost y'all. That's cool. We need to stop playing ourselves like puppets, man. We play ourselves, yo. These armchair warriors, they're a fucking trip, man. But it's a society we live in. Yo, this is some good seltzer water. It's Polar Seltzer. Ruby red grapefruit. But it's a society we live in. I guess if you get enough people to follow your Facebook or your Instagram, whatever bullshit that you said, hey man, sometimes it does influence change, man, I guess. But I'm not stupid. I ain't gonna fall for the bullshit. I'm not looking for the government to make changes, man. The change starts with you. As an individual, paying attention to yourself, paying attention to your surroundings, paying attention to the people in and near your circle. If you see something, say something. If some motherfucker suspect, alert the authorities, put them on alert. Stop waiting for the government to pass a law to make it hard to get a gun. If you want to do some dirt, it's not hard to get a gun, man. If that's your intention, you're going to get it. Of course, walking into Walmart is the easiest way to buy an assault rifle or assault weapon or whatever. That's the easiest way. But there's other ways, baby. Prohibition didn't stop people from selling alcohol. Gun control ain't gonna stop people from trading guns. At all. It's bullshit. They trying to take the power out of the average citizen hands. I see this shit, man. I have no interest in owning a gun, period. I got no interest. But I see what it is, though. I see exactly what it is. It's gonna be a revolution, man. I hope I'm not allowed to see it, but people gonna get tired of the way the government is playing motherfuckers, yo. People gonna get tired of it. It's gonna be a revolution. And I think the government is aware of that. That's why these situations are happening, so they can disarm us so we can't fight during the revolution. How you gonna fight a revolution with no weapons? Change starts with yourself. You want the government to change. Also, it's about the money too. It's the money you put into it. Usually, the government goes the way the dollars go. You want change? Get the right people in office, man. Put yourself in office. If you really want change, talk is cheap, man. I'm not trying to change nothing. I'm personally fine. Things could be better, but you know, I'm trying to work myself out. I'm not trying to be no armchair revolutionary, but I get annoyed by seeing certain things in my timeline, certain bullshit, you know. Motherfuckers talking about what the legislature should be doing, what the lobbyists should be doing, but they writing Facebook statuses. Are they sending letters to these lobbyists? Are they tagging these lobbyists? A lot of them have social media accounts. Are they tagging them and doing that? Doubt it. Highly doubt it. Because if they were, they would have their names tagged in their statuses. That's how I know they with the bullshit. Fuck out of here. If they really wanted the government and legislature to change, most of these government officials have social media. They're with their... Donald Trump is the prime example. You know what I'm saying? He sets the tone. All these motherfuckers got Facebooks and Twitters and Instagrams and Snapchats. All these motherfuckers have this shit. People be complaining about the government. I'll never see them have different senators and representatives and mayors and shit like that and state attorneys. Their pages or their social media tagged in the things that they're talking about. I'm sure it happens, but I don't see it often. But you claim you want change. You think just posting some bullshit on your bullshit ass Facebook that probably got only about 5,000 friends max, and there's 300 million people in America and 8 billion people on Earth, and your small little ass drop in a bucket gonna really fucking change something? Get the fuck out of here, man. Motherfuckers just like to be on their little high horse on their soapbox and just talk shit, but that's all it is. They enjoy hearing themselves talk, which is why they do it, but they ain't gonna do shit. Ultimately, you gotta change yourself. You gotta be aware of your surroundings and those that are around you. If you see something, say something. That's it. And that's all I had to say. I'm out. I'm enjoying this beautiful Sunday. On my way back home, I will catch y'all. Peace.